the last 15 pounds, the last 10 pounds. Very often you'll hear people talk about, it's so hard to lose the last 10 pounds, or I just need to lose the last 10 pounds. The assumptions that are built into that are you have number one is there's something different that you have to do for the last 10 pounds than the first 10 pounds. The second assumption is that somehow these 10 pounds of fat are different in their makeup or what they consist of than the first 10 pounds. Because if they're the same, there's nothing different that needs to be done. So those two assumptions, right? So first and foremost, all fat is the same. And all fat, in order for it to leave your body, you have to be, so remember, what is fat? It's excess atoms stored in the molecule of human fat. That's what excess, or that's what body fat is. So it's not mysterious. 55 carbons, 106 hydrogens, 6 oxygen. That's the molecule, right? And the way that it leaves our body is through breathing. When we breathe out, okay, we breathe out carbon dioxide. That's our fat leaving. Um, Obviously, that's a bit simplified, but that's as far as we need to go. That's the chemical process, right? Now, since all of the fat on your body is the same, the method to make it leave your body is the same. So the only thing you need to do is keep doing what you're currently doing until you have reached the desired level of body fat. Now, what the practical problems that people run into are more emotional and behavioral. When you feel like it's not happening fast enough, or it's not moving for whatever amount of time, or you're not patient enough to see the change, then you do something different. And then the thing that is causing the fat loss, the calorie deficit, often gets lost. So if you stay in a calorie deficit long enough, right, you will lose all the fat you want. Maintain your activity level. That means keep up your 10,000 steps. Don't change your training. Like, you should be doing some type of resistance training. And just be patient. Do it long enough, you'll lose all the fat you want. So, don't get frustrated. Don't get impatient. This is where it really helps having a coach. Um, and sometimes you don't see the changes happening because you'll see 6 days of massive fluctuations in the scale, and you'll ignore what you're seeing in the mirror because what the scale is saying, but you don't know how to interpret the scale. For example, I had a client that I was talking to that he was like, "Hey, what should I do?" Blah blah blah, and I'm like, "What do you mean What should you do?" And he sent me 2 weeks worth of weigh-ins, and I was like, "So okay." We put those weigh-ins into my spreadsheet, which shows us weekly lows plus weekly averages. So without that context, it just seems like, because the last two numbers, the latest 2 days were two of the higher numbers, but if without the context of the spreadsheet, we would miss two important facts. One, he had a new low in each week. So he hit a low of, I believe, 231 in the first week, and another low of 230 2 times in the following week. That's progress, and you're not going to see that unless you have that context. The second thing is his average over the 7 days of the first week was 231.8, and then the average for the second week was, I believe, 230.2. Whatever it is, the point was there was a 1.5 pound difference from week to week if you looked at the average. That's progress. But that's something gets lost when we don't have this context. So, first 10 pounds, And the last 10 pounds, it's all the same. You got to be patient, you got to have understanding, and you got to stay in that calorie deficit.